Got my man Steve Valente right here. We are talking college hoops.
We're in it, Howie. Best
We're
time of year to be a gambler right now. Next 3 weeks, Howie. Best
we're
time of year to be a gambler.
we are talking college hoops right now because it's just wildness all day long, every day from here on out. First thing I want to say is, the last few days we've been crushing it. Last night I had Vermont parlayed with everybody, and you know what? I should have hedged against them. I should have taken Maine right off the bat to hedge against my parlays, knowing damn well that the first team all conference guard was out. Well, here's what pisses me off, Steve. They announced he was not playing like 15 minutes before the game.
Right before tip. I text you about an hour before tip and asked what his status was, and you said he should be playing.
Yeah.
And then sure enough.
Everybody told me that, it's final game, he's got to play, bad hip, yep. He's still going to play. And he didn't play. And they turned the ball over 12 times in the first half. I think they had 20 turnover. They were terrible. Jesus, they were bad. This team sucked. They lost to Maine, who's average. But anyways, we're back at it today. There's so many games today. Right off the bat, I messed around last night, and I took Gonzaga with a little parlay with some games today, and I got Davidson on the money line. Actually, no, I got a -5.5 today against Richmond, who's been actually playing better. But I followed Richmond all year, and it's not a very good team. It's probably the worst team in the Atlantic 10. Davidson should be able to take care of business. That game, I believe, is in Washington, D.C.
Down in D.C.
Yeah, with that conference tournament. We got conference tournaments all over the place.
That's what I'm talking about. 11:30 this morning till midnight tonight. You can gamble on. You got action.
Yeah, it's going to be bizarre. We got a game at noon. Virginia, Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech's -1.5. These two teams aren't great, but they've had games this year where they've both hung with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So
more so Georgia Tech, I think, than Virginia. Virginia.
Well, that's who I took. I got Georgia Tech. Here's this parlay. I hit Gonzaga last night, -2.5, -125. I got Davidson money line, Georgia Tech money line. I have Southern University. They should be able to handle Grambling. Then I took, in this parlay, I took North Carolina -7.5 because if they can't blow out Notre Dame today, they can't blow out anybody.
Nobody. Listen, they had a great 5-game stretch there, and then they had a bad 12 minutes against Duke in the second half, up 7, I think, with 13 minutes left to go. I'm a Tar Heel. I got my Never Say Die Goonie shirt on. I'm ready to go. But, yeah, a buddy of mine texted me this morning, my man Robo, and I'm like, Carolina should win by 15 or more, but you'll know in the first 5 minutes what team's going to show up. And if they don't show up today, just lose today so I'm out of my misery. Because, all I'm going to do is keep gaining hope.
Because they're playing a Notre Dame team that won by 1 point yesterday.
In the ugliest basketball game that might have ever.
Jim Boeheim was disgusted even announcing it. He finally, at one point, he goes, these teams are 2 for 100.
He started talking about politics, and Corey Alexander had to rope him back in, get him back into talking hoop.
It was such a bad game.
It was brutal, and the refs were no better.
So if you didn't watch the game, I'll fill you in quickly. The game went back and forth, just throwing the ball out of bounds, missing threes, missing layups. These teams sucked. And with about 10 seconds to go, Pitt's got the ball. It's a tie game. So Pitt did what you figured they would do. The guard drives baseline, which you never do. And he just dribbled the ball out of bounds. He just dribbled the ball, foot on the line, out of bounds. They don't even get a shot off. They're holding for the last shot. And, we'll get to what just happened. Jeff Capel complained after the game, and I'm like, you have 100%, you're correct. You have a good complaint. But this is the worst coach team I've ever seen in my life. These kids could not even get a shot off. So real quickly, Steve, I'm watching the game. And of course, I had Pitt in a parlay. I had Pitt.
Yep.
And ball comes down. Notre Dame gets a shot off. They miss. Kid goes up. Great offensive rebound. Of course, nobody blocks out on Pitt. Goes up, tries to tap the ball and misses it. The ref calls a foul with no time left. Half a second left, the ref calls a foul. So you're sitting there like, okay, it must be off the ball. Somebody must have punched somebody in the face because the guy that just tipped it, he sure as hell didn't get touched.
Right.
And even Boeheim was going crazy. Boeheim was like, there was no contact. And there wasn't. They replayed it. He never touched him.
Never touched him.
I mean, it was the worst. It was a call where you're like, this ref had to have had Notre Dame on the money line because there was no foul.
Nothing.
So they, half second left, kid goes to the line, makes one free throw, game's over. Notre Dame wins the game. And, Capel had a good point. He said 20 years of college basketball. I've never seen a call that bad. He's correct.
No,
but
100%.
Jeff, your team sucked. So my point is, if North Carolina can't come out right out of the gates and take a 10, 15-point lead quickly.
Line already moved up, Howie. It's up to 10.5.
I got him at 7.5. It's at 10. That's good. Yeah. I like that. Yeah. So I like that.
71% of the money's on the heels. Sharp money's on the heels. If North Carolina does not win this game by 15 or more, they're going to lose it.
I agree. I agree. This isn't a close game. This is either a blowout or North Carolina somehow gets beat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, we got that game today, and I have them going in a parlay. But look, man, if you like what you hear, hit the like button. Join the Degenerate Gamblers. Go to Whop.com because we have a Discord, and we're on there just making live plays left and right, trying to middle games.
Morning,
and right now,
noon, and night, Howie.
It's 24/7. So the game I like, Steve, and I'm going to go right into it at 12:30 today. And this is a game. Cincinnati came out yesterday, took care of business quickly, won easily. They play Iowa State. I've liked Iowa State all year. They're the 5 seed in this tournament, the Big 12, because, they've had injuries.
Sure.
They haven't been playing that well.
No.
Let me tell you something. This line is Iowa State minus 8.5. Steve, I'm all over Cincinnati in this game.
I knew where you're going, Howie. It's too many points. It's
too many
points on a team that of Iowa State. The way they're playing right now, they're just not the team that they were a month ago.
Yeah. And if you listen to me, I loved Iowa State all year. I love their guards, but look, I'm all about banking fatties, making cash. I'll change on there's no loyalty here. There's no loyalty. If I see an edge, and I see an edge in this game, Cincinnati played yesterday. They had a chance to bench some of these good players towards the end of the game, get a little rest. They're coming out. They've already played on this court. Iowa State hasn't. I can see Cincinnati coming out and getting a 10-2, 12-4 lead, keeping this thing close and covering this 8.5.
Yeah. No, I'm fully on board with you with that many points. And in a game like this, again, it's either going to be, I don't know. Cincinnati either keeps it within, 2 possessions or they get blown out. But I just don't see it. The way this Iowa State team's been playing, I don't see it.
I got a friend he's a big VCU fan, and he said, the one thing he's scared right now, he goes, watch Cincinnati make a deep run in this thing and end up screwing a couple of these teams that are on the outside looking in.
Right.
Speaking of outside looking in, the next game, I just want to go over quickly. This game scares the shit out of me too. Why is South Carolina only a 4.5-point dog against Arkansas? That smells.
Stinks. I was reading action.com this morning, Howie, and the guys were on the money line. So it doesn't make any sense. It's kind of like that Gonzaga St. Mary's line last night. Made no sense why Gonzaga was laying points in against a team that they already lost to twice during the regular season. And then they go out and they beat them and they cover. But it doesn't make any sense in this one here.
Someone knows something here. In South Carolina, they're big. Got a couple athletic guards. They've played some teams tough this year. Won a couple games. They could easily win this game. That game worries me a little bit.
Arkansas is 7-3 in their last 10 against the number here, Howie. So just something to take a look at. This game's going to be in Nashville, so that SEC tournament's in Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah. Game worries me a little bit. South Carolina, if I was going to take this game, I probably would take South Carolina in the points just because the game looks shady as shit. 3:30, you got two of the worst teams in the Big Ten, Northwestern and Minnesota. Northwestern a minus 2.5 point favorite. I'd take the dog. I'll take Minnesota all day. Garcia's a good player. They can win that game. They play everybody tough.
Big Ten's just been, it's been brutal for them. Their lines have, been relatively close all year. Northwestern's just a team that won 3 in a row, then lost 2 in a row. So are they back on that losing streak? Because they were horrible about a month ago, and then they turned it on a little bit, beat Ohio State by 40, 30, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And Minnesota's just kind of been that up and down roller coaster that most of these teams have been all year, just because it's pretty much an equal playing field in most of these conferences.
You got 3:30 today. This is a huge game because you have two teams right on the bubble. You got Texas playing Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt minus 2.5. I do like Vanderbilt. I think they probably have overall a better team. Texas has that freshman guard who's great, but Vanderbilt plays D. They don't turn the ball over. They should win this game. The line's 2.5, man. This is almost like a pick 'em. Whoever loses this game, Steve, I would say is out of the tourney.
And I can't wrap my head around a team like Texas. I know it's the SEC and everybody wants to give them all their praise this year for how good they are and how deep they are. But 17-14 gets you in the tournament. And I think they only have 4 conference wins. To me, Texas is out. Vandy is definitely a team that if they win 2 or 3 games in this SEC tournament, they've got a good shot at jumping in this thing. I like Vandy. I think they cover the number. I'm just not sold on Texas. I don't like what I've seen with them of late. They've lost 4 out of their last 5, haven't covered 4 out of their last 5. So I'll roll with Vandy in this one.
Yeah, it's a big game. 4:00, finally the Big East. I haven't made a decision if I'm walking up to the Garden or not. That's about a 20-minute walk for me. I don't even take the train. I like to walk, but I could walk. I might walk up and see Butler, Providence, 4:00. That's almost a pick 'em. Providence plus 1.5. I just don't think Providence is in trouble. They can't finish games. They're missing some guys. Raheem's out. They're in trouble without him.
Howie, you're fading Joe Public here. Joe Public's all over the Friars. 85% of the money is on Providence in this one.
Yeah, I'll probably take Butler.
Thad Matta. Give me Thad Matta and the Butler Bulldogs.
Yeah,
I don't have a play in that game. If you do it though, bet at money line. Don't mess with the points. Just pick who you think is going to win the game.
I like it. Then you got another Big 12 game. There's another game I like. I'm giving you guys a game right now. We gave you Cincinnati as a dog, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to straight up parlay 2 dogs, Steve.
Okay.
I'm going to take Colorado plus 6.5 against West Virginia, in Cincinnati plus 8.5 against Iowa State. Together, you got plus 284. That's a value. Now, these teams just have to win. They just have to cover. I think both these teams could possibly win. Colorado, I think, will beat West Virginia today. West Virginia is a juggernaut at home. They have problems on the road. This is a conference game. Of course, it's on the road.
Yep.
Colorado looked impressive yesterday. We had Colorado. That was one of our picks yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I like them getting 10. Yeah, I like them getting plus 6.5.
Yeah. No, I mean, West Virginia team kind of limping in here to the conference tournament. Colorado beat TCU back-to-back games here. It's gonna be closer than the numbers telling us, Howie. That's what I think. I think these conference tournament games, man, unless you're here and they're there, these two teams are more equal, and then their records indicate. And I think Colorado holds tough with them.
And you know what? I might as well throw this one in a parlay too. Maybe I'll do a 3-dog parlay. Let's see what this thing will bring back, because I do like this next dog. And let's just see. I'm going to punch it in right now. Look, 6:00. You have Iowa, who beat the shit out of Nebraska in their last game. Iowa's playing Ohio State, plus 5.5. Iowa State, in my opinion, is the most unimpressive team I've seen in the past month.
Ohio State?
There's 100 teams that could beat them.
State.
So I think you take Franny McCaffrey. I'll take him all day in this game. Plus 5.5. Ohio State doesn't play great D. What does Iowa do more than they shoot the three?
Shoot
They
it.
get up the guy. I can see this game being 90-87. Iowa possibly winning. And I'll give you a crazy one. You take Iowa plus 5.5, Colorado plus 6.5, Cincinnati plus 8.5. You got plus 619 with the FanDuel profit boost plus 805.
Let's go.
What about this one, Steve? What about taking all three of these dogs on the money line to win?
What's that? Where you at to win? I mean, you got to be what, plus 3,000?
You know what? Let's do it. So we'll take Cincinnati plus 340. We take Colorado plus 230.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll toss Iowa in at plus 176. And Steve,
What we got, Howie?
you got plus 3,900, but with the FanDuel boost, plus 5,000.
Let's go.
How do you not toss a little on that?
Throw a little jingle on that, Howie.
Throw $50 on that. You got $2,500. You got literally a plane ticket and a hooker and a good time to Vegas.
Speaking of hookers, Howie, poor Tiger Woods. He blew his Achilles out. We can't watch him in the Masters. Even though
you wonder, how did he do that?
Probably banging a hooker.
Tiger, man. Tiger likes to send it in.
Send
I'll tell you what, since we're live, I got a good Tiger Woods story. A buddy of mine, NBA coach, probably know who he is, but anyways, he's down in Florida.
I know what you're talking about, Howie.
Used to coach for the Magic for a while, but he's in Florida.
Yep.
He's hanging out with Patrick Ewing, another guy, and Tiger Woods, and they're at a strip joint in Orlando.
Yep.
And he told me, he said, dude, we're all hanging out, just talking, having drinks. And every 5 minutes, man, Tiger's grabbing strippers. Literally, Ewing had to say, dude, stop. Stop.
Like a little kid in a candy
shop.
Yeah.
Playing grab ass with strippers, And I gave him credit when he banged a Denny's waitress, because it's something we all can relate to. We've all 100%. Been there at 3:30 in the morning.
And you can't judge him, because you don't know what you're going to do in that situation.
No,
probably
you wake up in the morning, she's got a mustache, hair on her. Yeah, it is what it is. Look, we've all been there. But look, we get back into it. So that's at 5,000 for Thrill 3 dogs. I'm definitely, look at me. I'm betting it. I'll pull a little on it. We got games 7:00. You got the shit SEC games with LSU plus 8.5 dog against Mississippi State. I don't know. I have no idea in that game.
Howie, before you get into that game, there was a game at 6:30 on the cock. DePaul and Georgetown, teams that just met in the regular season finale here. Big East game. Georgetown was, they haven't been doing very well. Losers of 4 out of their last 5. I had them on Sunday against DePaul, and Saturday, they shot me in the dick. This should be a good game. What's the line? 4. So 4. It was a 1-point line on Saturday. Now it's a 4-point line with the Hoyas laying the points here. So this should be definitely. Ed Cooley always seemed to get Providence ready for the tournament, their conference tournaments. Yeah. Let's see. What's his name? Chris Holmgren, not Holmgren. Chris, the Ohio State coach, is now at DePaul. Chris starts with an H. Drawing a blank.
Yeah, I can't think either.
Yeah, but he's actually turned that program around pretty quick. For as bad as they were last year, I think they had 2 wins or something like that. He's got them at 13-18. So that should be a game that Chet should be on your radar here at 6:30. Sharp money is on the Hoyas in that one.
I might even go to that game. It's right up the street.
Yep.
We got a Patriot championship game at 7:00. Navy and American.
Howie, tell me about it. I mean, listen, who's tuning into the Horizon League champion, or a Horizon League game during the regular season? Nobody. How many people were watching that Robert Morris game last night?
Yeah.
I know I had it in a parlay. I know I had it straight up, and they got it home for me after that miracle over of that dog shit ACC game before that.
Oh God, yeah. That was a great game. Great game. About Robert Morris head to the dance.
Bobby Moe,
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Geez, Americans.
Navy and American. I like American. The problem is Navy's been playing great. They're disciplined. They got good. They actually have athletes on this team. Navy does. They got some guys that can get up and down the court. Americans -3.5. It's probably gonna be a 1-point game.
Yeah, games in DC.
That's coming down to the last shot.
I'm just looking at Navy's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They've covered 8 out of their last 9. 8 out of the last 10. Yeah.
Navy can play.
Yeah.
I can easily see them winning this game. American's a team that's been there close over the past, and they always seem to choke. So I would lean Navy in this game, getting the points. I would lean Navy. 7:00, you got we're back, and you have the 2 California teams, the ACC going at it, California and Stanford.
6.5 points Stanford's laying in that one.
Way too many points.
We watched that Cal team play last night against Virginia Tech. That was my miracle triple overtime over. I don't know, man.
They're good. I mean, look, you got a couple kids. Stojakovic's kid can play, man, from California. And they got the 6'10 Muzzy, who's got like a 42-inch vertical, but he can't drink water after 6:00 because it's Ramadan.
Bastard.
I mean, he can't. I give that kid credit. He played 3 overtimes last week in Notre Dame, and he went literally an hour without drinking a drop of water. Because, hey,
double overtime last night.
He's dedicated.
It's a lot of points, Howie. I know Cal's coming off double overtime. But man, Stanford hasn't looked very good. Lost to Notre Dame.
I'll take Stojakovic and the boys.
Louisville. Yeah.
I'll take them.
What about your running Rebs and Air Force, Howie?
Yeah, I mean, look, running Rebs, I like them. Where is that game? I don't know.
Home.
It's at Vegas?
Mac Center, yeah.
You got to take UNLV. They'll win by 25.
I think so. Air Force has been a team that I've been able to hedge my money on and bet against them for the last few years here. Not a very good basketball program. So yeah, I would lay the wood with the Rebs in that one.
Again, when we get off there, I'm going to put all these bets out, and Steve is too, on our Discord. If you want to join the Discord, go to Whop.com, join the Degenerate Gamblers, $24.99 a month. Just join up for the month. If you want to win your office pool, join up. How can you not? Listen, hit the like button right now on YouTube. Follow Degenerate Gamblers. Follow Howie Dewey. And we got games, so many games coming right now. You got a championship game at 8:30, Sacred Heart and Merrimack. Merrimack's a -2. These two, by far, the 2 best, I think, in this conference. Sacred Heart playing Merrimack. Merrimack's -2.5 point favorite. They should take care of business, but who knows? What was the upset that I saw last night? There was Central Connecticut got beat.
Yeah. Yep. That was another ugly game. What was it? 49-46 was the final. Something like that.
Terrible. I thought Albany would give Brian a better game.
Yeah.
And they just couldn't hit anything.
No.
Now we go to 8:30, and USC is playing Rutgers in this open. Rutgers squeaked in as an 11 seed. USC squeaked in as a 14 seed in the Big Ten, last team in. Rutgers is a plus 1.5 point dog against USC. Now, they haven't looked good all year. They haven't played great. They squeaked out, won their last game.
OT got me the cover, Howie. Sunday, jumping around D-bat.
But I'm going to tell you something. This team is starting a new season tonight. They have two, what they're saying, NBA first rounders.
Mm-hmm.
Not only am I taking them tonight, but I put it out yesterday on the Discord, and I have odds, futures on all conference champions, and I'm just going to give you one. And we have some good ones on here. You can grab Rutgers just to win the Big Ten championship at plus 15,000. Now, here's why I like this. You know, you might say you're crazy. They suck. They have no chance. The Big Ten's not that good, brother. Let's say Michigan State gets knocked off. Let's say Maryland gets knocked off. Who's left?
Howie, even as good as Maryland, Michigan State's been good. Our boy Smitty on the Discord, we're talking with him every single day. Michigan State, they're, this Tom Izzo team is a team to be reckoned with. But
I think they can make a deep run in the tourney.
100%, but it doesn't mean that they can't get knocked off here in a tournament that basically means nothing to them, right? They're a 2 seed going into this one, right? Whether they win, whether they lose, probably going to be a 2 seed in the NCAA tournament. So it doesn't really mean too much to them. But teams like a Rutgers, like you said, that have that talent, that this time of year, the cream always rises to the top.
Well,
right?
And damn well, Steve Pikel's sitting them down and say, all right, guys, I hope you play well tonight, because if you don't, season's over.
Yep.
We'll go to NIT or some bullshit tournament. But so you got, you have those two kids. Rutgers could put a run together. And I'm not saying they will.
No, but
plus 15,000.
Let's go.
How do you not put $50 down to win 7,500?
No big deal.
You'd be insane not to. So I will. Yeah. I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And that's one of them that I really like. The other futures, the SEC, I got Florida, Tennessee, plus 230, plus 650. Anyone could pick those. And, but you got to join the Discord. We'll get those. So that brings us, we get into 9 o'clock tonight. You got 4 Big East games at the Garden. You got Seton Hall, Villanova. Seton Hall's a 10.5 point dog against Villanova. That's kind of high.
Hold on. I had one more 7 o'clock game to jump into, but
let's do it.
Well, it's Baylor, Kansas State. It's just a game. This Baylor team, Howie, their coach has been there. He's done that. Scott Drew won a national championship. He's had a down year this year, but they went in and they played Houston tough. They played Houston tough Saturday night and only lost by 4 points. Won their last 2 games before that convincingly. Kansas State has just been another one of those yo-yo teams for me. I like the Bears in this one. I'd lay the 5.5 with Baylor against Kansas State. I'm going to fade Joe Public. 81% of the money is on Baylor. So I'm going to fade. I'll lay the points. I'm going to take the Baylor Bears in this one.
All right. Okay. Yeah. That's another team that well coached, have good players, just haven't put it together this year.
So get back to that Big East game, because I do want to talk about that one, because you got a coach who basically, was almost in the tournament last year, now had a down year. And then you got another coach who, Kyle Neptune, he can't, I don't know, is he on the hot seat? Is he out of Villanova? I mean, I know it's been a short leash, but it's Villanova, man.
Oh, yeah, he's in trouble. No doubt. And don't be surprised if the guy that they hired to take his place is the guy he's coaching against tonight.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah, you don't know. 10.5 is a lot of points. I think this game could be closer than that.
Yeah. Shaheem Holloway. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. That just to me seems like a ton of points. I know Seton Hall has come off of 3 games in a row where they've lost by double digits or more, but it was St. John's, it was Creighton, and it was UConn. So, they lost by 5 to Villanova before that. Villanova lost to Georgetown at Georgetown in their last game. So, yeah, this one is, I would probably back Seton Hall, the old Pirates, on this one with that many points.
I'm with you. I'm giving one more game rest of the night, and then you got to join the Discord. You got to hit the like button. Go to Whop.com, join the Degenerate Gamblers, and I'll give you the rest of them. I'm giving you one more game tonight. Oklahoma plays Georgia. This is a must-win for Oklahoma. There's no way in hell they get into this tournament if they lose tonight. They play Georgia. Georgia's -3.5. They've been on a roll. Georgia's been on a roll. I want to say they've won 4 in a row. I think they've covered in all 4. But they have good players, man. This kid, the guard, Blue Kane, he can play.
4 in a row, cover their last 5.
Yeah, I like them, man. I like the Dogs. This is a team that's going to get in the tournament. This is a team I would not want to play. This team could easily make the 16, especially if they get seeded well. They rebound. They beat good teams. They smack Florida. So you got to watch this team. They play Oklahoma tonight. I'd be very surprised if Oklahoma can beat them. I think they're just tougher, have better players. That's it. I'm not giving out another game. Go ahead. You have another game, Steve?
There's a couple late games here. Syracuse was coming off a pretty close game against Florida State last night.
I couldn't believe that.
They're getting almost 10 to SMU. I don't think SMU is that good, but Cuse is just, I don't know. One, I can't bet it in New York State. And 2, Cuse is a tough team to get behind. This Kansas UCF game, Howie, that's one to get on the Discord, check out. Kansas is laying 11.5 in this one. A game that I, quite frankly, would probably take the points with the dog. I just think in a conference tournament game, and this Kansas team just has not impressed at all this year. So those would be the 2 games to keep on your radar. We got a championship. We got a late. Nah, we got no.
Steve, do you think Central Florida could beat Kansas tonight?
It's a possibility. A team that could get hot. A team like Kansas who they kind of play to their competition. So if that happens tonight, they're going to be in trouble against a team that came out and really beat the bags off of Utah yesterday. Utah was never in that game for 1 second. And I know, yes, we're talking about Utah, but if UCF can get hot shooting the ball against this Kansas team, Kansas can't lay back and hope that their talent carries them to a victory tonight.
Look, man, you can grab Central. If you think Central Florida can beat Kansas on a neutral court, Central Florida is plus 460. That's a value. If I throw that in my other dog parlay, you're probably going to get about plus 12,000.
Kansas beat them by 50 back in January, the beginning of January, the end of January. UCF only lost by 4 points. That game was at Kansas. So I'm telling you right now, this Kansas team is not the same Kansas team that they were at the beginning of January. And UCF is a team. Johnny Dawkins is a good coach. I know he, is on the hot seat himself here. But 17-15 in a Big 12 conference for UCF isn't terrible. I know that's not great to say, but I don't know. I would definitely take the points with UCF tonight.
Well, 11:30 tonight, our final game, and I'll just say this because, look, it's 11:30 at night. I'll be watching it. I'll be here probably in the couch, maybe with 2 or 3 prostitutes because my girlfriend's out of town. So, but you got Grand Canyon and UT Arlington. The over-under is 146.5. I've bet the over on Grand Canyon 3 times this year. They've hit all 3, and I think they may rack it up tonight. So
wait, Grand Canyon. Oh, yeah, 145.5. I could get you, Howie.
Look, I like Grand Canyon in this spot against UT Arlington. I've looked at. I think these teams will probably run. And then there's some games later. But look, you got to join the Discord. Go to Whop.com. Join the Degenerate Gamblers. Hit the like button. And we'll be on here. Today's Wednesday. We'll be on here live Friday. And we'll be going over all this because there's a billion games.
Yep.
All right, man. You got anything else?
No, Howie, I'm good. I'm gonna be rooting my tits off for my Tar Heels at 2:30 today.
I'm gonna be throwing in a nice plus 5,000 parlay. Let's bank.
Let's go, baby.
All right, I just stopped it.
Yep, and it looks like I am done.
So this automatically just already goes live.